I'm Vegas Runner, going to be breaking down UFC 129. This will be the largest crowd in UFC history. And we're going to start it off with the undercard. Then we're going to move along to the main card and also pass along a little more information on the rest of the fights. Fight we're going to cover first is a good one. Rory McDonald and Nate Diaz. Most fight fans agree this one should definitely have made the main card. Especially when you look at that main card. No reason this one shouldn't be on there. Fight of the night potential for sure. We got two guys that love to bring it and are not afraid to bang. Nate Diaz opened up as the favorite for this one, and all of a sudden we're seeing Rory McDonald at minus $1.20. And I can promise you that is sharp money moving that line. I have to agree with the sharp money there. This kid's for real. Rory McDonald had Condit in trouble, and he was ready to win that fight. It would have been a huge upset at UFC 115. And then in that final minute, there was a stoppage and a huge disappointment. I thought the kid was going to coast to that decision victory. But MMA, anything can happen, and that's exactly the case. Going forward in this one with Nate Diaz, you know me, I've talked about it many times. I love the scrap pack. I backed Melendez in the Strikeforce fight just a few weeks ago. And like I said, I love these guys because they come to fight. The Diaz brothers, Melendez, Shields, all Cesar Gracie disciples. And these guys can beat you in many ways. Jiu-jitsu is their bread and butter, but they're not afraid to stand and exchange. And we've seen Nate Diaz, even up now at welterweight, just be able to stand in the pocket and bang. But his bread and butter is submissions, and that's where the problem is going to be in this one. Rory McDonald is one of those guys that when he gets top control, he doesn't just lay and pray. He's there to finish you. And when we look at Nate Diaz, he's had his biggest problem with wrestlers. He lost to Kim, Maynard, Guida, and Stevenson. All guys who were able to get top control and stay out of submissions. When you look at Rory McDonald, the kid's 10-1. He's 21 years old. Many believe this kid has the potential to be a future champion, believe it or not. Hasn't been tested yet at this level, but from what I'm hearing, this kid is the real deal. Let's tell it like it is. Bottom line, the UFC does not like the Diaz family. They don't like Nick, and since Nate's won the Ultimate Fighter, he's been thrown in with the Lions. Usually, they'll give him a couple tomato cans, build up his reputation and also their confidence because they just got him a $100,000 contract. But that just wasn't the case with Nate Diaz. He's been thrown to the Lions, and the kid's performed. I've backed him in the past, and he has come through. But in this fight, styles make fights, and Rory McDonald is just going to be a nightmare as far as style clashes are with Nate Diaz. Bottom line, I think this one goes to the decision. I think McDonald's going to have the presence to take him down, stay on top of him, stay out of submissions, and not really get in a lot of striking exchanges with Diaz. Diaz's big advantage has been his height, especially at lightweight. Now that he's up to welterweight, he's 6'6", but McDonald's 5'11", so you're not going to see Diaz with that huge height advantage he's had in the past. More importantly, out of the 10 wins, like I said, for McDonald, 6 of those have come via submission. So the kid knows how to fight when he's on the ground, and I think that is what's going to keep him out of harm's way. Finally, when you look at Nate Diaz, he's 13-6 in his fights. 69% of his wins have come via submission, but 83% of his losses have come via decision. And that's because of the fact when he goes up against wrestlers, guys that can hold him down, he just finds himself in a lot of trouble. And when he's unable to latch on a submission, he just gets outpointed and he can't win the fight. Usually his wins come when he's way behind, when he's getting beat up, and he's able to catch someone in a submission, and that will not be the case come Saturday. I like Rory McDonald. I think you got to jump on it now because the sharp money should keep betting it. At minus 120, that simply means to turn a profit. If these guys met 100 times, McDonald's got to win more than 55% of the time. And I think if these two fought 100 times, McDonald will come out closer to 60% of the time. That gives me value on McDonald. We're going to take Rory McDonald, lay the $1.20 over Nate Diaz for our first pick in UFC 129.